Maybe it feels weird because I hear myself.
Oh, yeah.
That's what my conscience is.
Did you know that there are people who don't have that voice? The inner monologue?
That exists in the world?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Who says? Grey's Anatomy?
People. No, there are people who just don't have an inner monologue.
That's sad.
Right?
Or maybe that's peaceful.
One, 2, 3. Sorry, ladies.
Hi.
Hi.
Welcome back. My name's Brittany. This is my wife, Bridget. And together we're neither funny nor original. Today we're going to talk about escapism as a form of... Oh my gosh, this girl.
I don't know how this episode's going to go.
Frederick.
Escapism as...
a coping mechanism.
Mm-hmm.
How we do it. How we personally do it. And I guess like how to maybe not do it so much. Fred, thank you, but I'm not itchy.
Winifred, lay down.
If you guys are watching on YouTube, little Frederico is scratching me up. And then I'm twisted up because my other dog, Maple, wanted to sit on my lap. So we're doing what we can. It's kind of a new setup.
Yeah.
We got the guest room back now that Nana left. But we get good lighting in here, and we're just gonna roll with it.
Yeah,
we're gonna make the best of it today.
It might be a little chaotic. It might be a little different, but we're gonna try it, and you guys will come along with us.
Yes,
on the journey.
But first, let's do our word of the week.
Mm-hmm.
I thought we would just do escapism.
Sure.
Because it's, what do you mean by escapism? So I looked it up in the Googles.
In the Googles.
And escapism in psychology is a coping mechanism where individuals seek to avoid unpleasant realities by engaging in activities or fantasies that provide temporary relief. While it can offer a respite from stress and a chance to recharge, excessive reliance on escapism can be detrimental to mental and physical well-being.
Dun, dun, dun.
Google coming for me.
Google knows.
Google does know. So I thought, all right, I already, every time we've talked about escapism, I know what it is, but just to hear it, oh, this is actually the definition of it. And for sure, every time I've used it, in reference, for sure that is what I do. I wanted to give there's elaboration.
Sure.
So yes, the definition. Escapism is a mental diversion from unpleasant aspects of daily life, often through activities involving imagination or entertainment. It's a way to temporarily avoid or distract oneself from difficult emotions or situations. Types of escapism. Various activities can be considered forms of escapism, including daydreaming, that's me, reading, that's Bridge, engaging in hobbies, I guess both of us, working excessively.
It depends.
Yeah, it does depend.
So work? No, really.
Yeah, but our
personal
fun work? Yes. Consuming media, using technology, or even engaging in addictive behaviors like substance abuse.
Well, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I mean, yeah.
I didn't put it, together, but yes.
Yes.
I agree. You look very twisted.
I am twisted because this is what happens when a dog sits on you.
First of all, you got played.
I did get played.
Second of all, that one's over there now, so I think you could kind of readjust yourself.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're not so overextended. And then tomorrow when you wake up, what
happened to my side? Why is my rib out again?
Yes, back to escapism.
Oh, yes.
Never I knew, obviously, drug use is a form of you're escaping reality, but I never kind of put it in the same category.
Yeah, I agree because it's oh no, you're just doing substance abuse because you have problems.
You're just a drug addict.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But how is that? I guess it is when I'm overly, when I'm just doom scrolling and getting my hit from that. I'm clearly escaping something. The list of things that I need to do.
Yeah.
So it is interesting. Oh no, but those are drug addicts and alcoholics. That's not
the
me,
same.
but escapism is
Yeah.
escapism.
It is.
So there's some benefits of escapism.
Okay, cool.
In moderation, escapism can provide mental respite, stress relief, and a chance to recharge, allowing individuals to return to their daily lives with renewed energy and perspective. Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Wow. You better sit down. And drawbacks are excessive reliance on escapism can lead to avoidance of important issues. Yes. Hindering personal growth. Yes. And problem solving skills. It can also lead to negative consequences like isolation, addiction, and even mental health problems. Healthy versus unhealthy escapism. The line between healthy and unhealthy escapism lies in the impact these activities have on an individual's life. Healthy is what was that?
Just went in my eye.
Where everything's falling apart right now.
You said healthy.
Because someone like opened the door over there.
No.
Okay.
I don't,
Are we
something
alone?
probably-
Blink twice if we're safe. I don't want to see those eyeballs get bigger. Okay. Healthy escapism can be a temporary reprieve, while unhealthy escapism can cause an avoidance pattern that prevents addressing underlying issues, Bridget.
I'm like standing over at Fred.
It has an example. A person who constantly daydreams about vacations to avoid dealing with a demanding job, or who becomes excessively reliant on social media to escape from feelings of loneliness might be exhibiting escapism. So it's like, oh, so Brittany and Bridget.
Very accurate.
Yeah, me planning Europe trip that we're supposed to leave for in 3 months.
Living in Europe through other people's posts.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly. Anyways, okay, so we went through all of that. And I feel like we just went right into it, and it's because the word of the week actually is the topic that we're talking about.
Yeah.
And if you're listening and you're like, great, how are you going to help me fix this? I'm not.
No, it's just acknowledging.
It's just
the
acknowledging.
behavior.
And I thought we would share how we see that in our own lives, and maybe how we're trying to combat that as well.
Yeah.
Did you want to go first?
Sure. Yeah. Escapism. This whole topic kind of came up because last week we recorded an episode that we did not release, but
We did record it.
Yeah, we did record it.
Yeah, we were consistent.
We just were
with
not
that.
happy with the episode.
Yeah.
Did we tell you guys? Who knows if we told you that we didn't post anything?
Did we?
We haven't.
Oh, okay. So then no,
At the
we
time
did not
of recording, we did not tell them.
Okay.
But it came up in when we were talking about like books and reading and my habit of escaping through reading these books or listening to audiobooks. And it's something that I know I have consciously done since I was a child. And I just thought it was like imagination, you know? Mm-hmm. But I think it was actually deeper than that. And it's like not escaping like bad situations where you're disassociating, but I think it was more so escaping because I was either lonely or like bored, or I was age-wise, I was like in a weird spot with my family. Mm-hmm. All of my cousins and my siblings were much older than me or much younger than me. So I was kind of like by my parents' side a lot. So I think that's where like reading came in too. Mm-hmm. It took me to a completely different place. It took me to different worlds, different realities. And I never saw that as like, oh, you're checking out of real life.
Yeah.
I just like, I'm reading a really good book.
Yeah.
I'm so like into reading.
Were those your Christian romance novels?
No. So I still don't know where this box came from. We got like this delivery of these random like they were Christian romance novels. Okay. Mm-hmm. When I was probably like in high school, it was probably, I think it was like six or eight books mm-hmm. that were like kind of an anthology. I wonder if I still have them. I don't remember. But it was, you know, they were not centered on romance, but they always ended up getting married. Mm-hmm. And that kind of, I would stay up till like 3-4 o'clock in the morning just reading. Yeah. They were just like those short paperback books.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But ever since I was like little, my parents bought me books and that's what I kind of focused on. Now as an adult, I still do that. I think for a long time it was like I was watching YouTube, different vlogs, and I was like, oh, it feels sometimes like you're doing the thing that they're doing. It's kind of like when, I guess, okay, it could be a good thing and a bad thing. Good thing if you're like doing research and like, this is where I want to go live, or this is the thing that I want to do. Bad thing is like, sometimes it feels like you already did it. Like we had planned a trip to go to London. This was years ago, probably like 7 years ago. We did so much research and so much work into it, but we had a family medical emergency. We ended up not going. I still feel like we actually did go. There's times where it's like I forget that, no, actually I didn't go.
Yeah.
And so I think that can also be like a bad thing, because if you're planning like I don't know, a workout routine,
Well, I've been planning to lose weight for 15 years and
you do all the
I'm
research
reminded.
and it's like, oh, I did it.
Yeah, like, oh, but the pants still don't fit.
This is why we moved to elastic.
Yeah.
But it's something that I don't know. I think I abuse it sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yeah, because I get like so sucked into a book that I don't want to get out of it. And instead of it being just like, oh my, like not quick fix, but just like being used responsibly.
Yeah.
I'm checked out of my real life.
That's been an ongoing thing with Bridge and I, that one of the issues that always comes up within our relationship is I feel too checked in. I'm too stressed out with life and making sure everything kind of works out in a specific timeline, and never being able to rest, because I feel like if I rest, then I'm going to miss out on a step that I'm supposed to do in a specific timeline, because by this age I should be this place, or and to be honest, I don't even have that quite figured out with like, okay, by age 40 I wanted to be a homeowner, or by age 45 whatever, anything like that.
You said a homeowner.
But I do have this urgency inside of me that's never at rest, because I don't feel settled. So, you know, at some point we would like to buy a home. So it feels like, okay, well, as long as I'm renting, then I can't ever get comfortable, because I need to make sure that I'm making moves to get us to a place where we can buy. And then moving up here to Washington, and realizing very quickly that this isn't where it didn't feel like home to us. We were hoping that it would, and it's just not where we see ourselves settling down. So then that immediately puts me in a place of, okay, so then I know I can't rest here, and it's not going to be in the state.
Settle.
Where is it going to be? So, and then with Bridge, she is like the opposite of that, and just kind of like she's saying, kind of just checks out of reality a lot, and I think that with this escapism, that is part of. So Bridge is someone that will constantly be listening to something all day long. So from the time that she gets up, she's usually getting ready to have an audiobook on, or a vlog or something, catching up. And all through after work, she would have been listening to an audiobook or vlogs or anything like that. And then when we log off of work, we'll usually have dinner together, and then it's most of the time then we're talking with each other for the rest of the night. But that is something for sure that, you know, we've talked about with like, okay, how can you be dialed into the things that we have going on in our life, and like, okay, what are we going to do, and what's the next steps, and where do we go, if you don't ever have silence inside of you to like clear your mind and what am I thinking about? Because I know when I'm listening to things, it's hard for me to actually like, well, wait, I'm checked into what's being told, whether it's, you know, a vlog, podcast, anything like that I, as much as I think I can be that person that can multitask and like, oh no, I can listen to this and then do my work. I don't know if it's just how I function or my work. I can't do it. So, So I am like cutting that out because I'm just sitting there and I'm like, "Ugh." You know, like I feel like I'm just like, my mind is like in two different places. I don't know. I was feeling this last week. I didn't have, do you want to add anything on top of that?
No, I was going to ask you, because we are so opposite in those ways. Like for me, I think it kind of kicks in more when I feel very overwhelmed and I have too many decisions to make and they feel too big. But you're always checked in. So what does escapism look like for you?
It probably looks like when I tell you for 5 days in a row that I'm going to do that thing for the taxes, and instead I'm researching what the cost would be if we go to Europe and like, you know, sometime this year, what it would be, like I am that person who's constantly daydreaming about vacations to avoid.
But see, I think that's where we're a bit different. For me, avoidance and escapism is silence in my head. Like when I have the book on or I have some video on, I'm not thinking about anything else. It's just quiet.
Yeah.
For you, it seems like when you're like, your escapism is not just daydreaming, but it's planning those steps to get there.
Yes. Yeah.
And like fully investing in that task.
Yeah, that is true. But I still feel like it is a form, like there's clearly things I need to do,
things you need to do,
and it's and we find out, it took me 10 minutes it literally 10 minutes to do it, but it seemed like such a big task for me to do that I was like, no, I'd rather actually plan out 30 days of Europe and all these different spots, get all these different things together, which actually is way more work than what that thing was of the taxes, but it wasn't enjoyable for me to do the tax part. That felt like just the worst thing anyone could ever ask of me to do. Yeah. But for something else that I enjoy, it's like going into this black hole, and it's like I come out for air, you know, 4 hours later, it's like, oh my God, that was amazing, right, babe? And you're like,
a very good example is yesterday. Oh. Yes. So yesterday, we were supposed to record, but like neither of us were really feeling it. And Britt, what time was it when this all started? Was it like 10 a.m.? Well, no, 10 we like woke up or like got up, got ready, and you know, did like the whole breakfast morning routine. I want to say it was like 12ish when you started looking into something.
No, you're being generous. I got up at 7:30. I went to the couch because I did that Saturday and Sunday. It was like I just happened to wake up, so I was like, I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna go out to the living room. Well, then my dog comes out and she wants to lay, so then I'll go sit on the couch instead of my desk so I can cuddle her for a bit. So I was 7:30 actually starting to watch videos, YouTube videos, and research some things.
And then you took a break.
And then I took when you brought out my second dog that wanted cuddles, and then that's when I closed the laptop.
But then you got back to it around like 12,
probably like noon. Yeah.
Okay. She was probably in this hole.
Yes.
I like did a whole ass like hair washing shower. I think I finished up some laundry. I think it was like 4:00 when I came out, and I was like, so are we recording today? And she was like,
no, you asked me before that. You asked me around 2 because you came out of the shower and you were kind of like,
I blow dried my hair.
And then you're like, are we going to record? And I was like, I don't know. What do you think? And then I said, well, I don't know. Maybe we could do it tomorrow during like lunchtime. We can record. And then you're like, really?
Okay.
Because you weren't feeling it either.
The point was, you were like tippity tappeting away.
I was.
I asked you, are we going to record? And she's like,
yeah.
Doesn't it like, where did my day go?
Where did
my day go?
I can't.
You get sucked in. You have zero idea that you neglect eat. This is classic ADHD. Okay.
It is.
It is hyperfixation. Yeah. It is. Doesn't know that she's hungry. Has not drank anything since probably breakfast. Doesn't know that the light is changing behind her because the day is progressing. And then when she's like comes out of it, she's like, oh my gosh, wow, what am I gonna do the rest of my day?
It's like
your
time
day
for
is
bed.
done. Man, it's time for you to shower and go to bed.
And then I'm mad and I'm like, I didn't even get to do anything for myself today. What did you do? Wasn't that for yourself? But it's like, but this was just research to set myself up to have a perfect life. Like everything is always like research, gathering data, doing everything that I need to do. That I finally will like, I don't know, come across something that I got the formula. I figured out the math formula that's going to give me the perfect life.
But the problem is a lot of it is research heavy, implementation light.
Yes. This is why I think that for me, it is escapism is still, it could be a researchy thing of like, yeah, maybe I'm doing some stuff. And, but I think that also, because even like looking up places for Arizona, if I know I have to do this thing that's due April 30th for the business,
this is what you're going to focus on.
You know what coffee shops are over there in Arizona? Like that is escapism. I wonder what
bookstores are out there.
Yes, or let me look at some apartments. It's not that like, it's about that whole metaphor that that we had talked about before that I had read. If you're juggling all these balls, which is the ones that are glass and which is the ones that are rubber? So what is the thing that absolutely you have to get done? For me, the glass ball was taxes due 4/30. The rubber balls is Europe, Arizona, like all these other things, which, at some point it is important for me to get to. If they drop, will it crumble? Will it crack?
Will we face consequences?
Exactly. For me, I was willing to go to jail for Europe, so I could plan out Europe. But I think that is my type of escapism.
It is the whole like when it comes to your responsibilities, whether it's like taxes or whatever, it is very overwhelming. I just meant like other tasks. It is very overwhelming and very like daunting. So of course, it's that thing that we'd rather dread for a very long period of time instead of than just doing the thing and getting it done. Yes.
And if I'm being perfectly honest here too, it's right now, Bridge and I are in a tricky situation, and it's not that tricky, but for me, it feels tricky. But I get a really good, I get my creative fix with the business by doing a lot of the creative stuff with it. Right now, because our time's kind of limited, we have a lot of things going on right now. Bridge is doing the editing, which to me is like the creative part of the business right now. And then I do like the taxes or the financial stuff, setting up, mailbox, all that kind of thing, which is not very fun for me.
It's administrative.
And my job is already administrative tasks that I'm doing that's not very fun. So then I clock out then to do our business stuff, which I absolutely love our business, but it's administrative tasks. And so the most creative part of it for me is really coming on here and talking with you guys. But then after that, it's like administrative stuff. So I think it's all about, I'm really glad that we're talking about this, because I think my pattern of escapism for avoidance of a lot of things in my life has actually made it so that when I show up for businessy things, even for my job, whether it's work related or neither funny nor original, I feel like I'm not actually giving the best and the most that I can give, because I've been self-sabotaging myself all week with escaping the things that I actually have to do, because it's like this sick cycle of I don't want to do this part of my job right now. I want to, if only I would take these courses, guys, I want to take UI, UX design courses, and shift my career.
I was like, in my head, I was like, is that what it's called? No, it's called no, I'm mixing up things.
But that's like another thing. So that's another thing that's, I'm added on my plate, because I want to shift the career and get out of, administrative type of work. And so I'm at work, I'm thinking about all the things that I have to do. So then I keep stopping. I'll jot it down. I'll look it up. I'm just not fully present. And I think one of the things that I'm going to implement this week, so you guys hold me accountable, Bridge, you hold me accountable, is I'm removing all of the apps from my phone.
Yeah.
And because I will admit that it's a sick thing that I have, that I realized this past week, that I'm like, I need help. I cannot not reach for my phone after a few minutes of time. So I'll put on something on YouTube. YouTube is probably my most used app.
Yeah.
I usually watch a lot of ASMR or like celebrity gossip type channels. So it goes back and forth between those. But so I'm like, okay, I'll put it on. Well, if I get bored with it immediately, I'm like, oh, let me just put something else on real quick. And then I'll tell myself, okay, stop. You're not even able to focus. Just put the phone down. Okay, put the phone down. I feel within like 5 minutes, like I need to reach for my phone. I'll reach for my phone. And for the most part, I've shut off notifications, so I'm not even getting notifications from like anyone.
Okay, I'm sorry. Continue. I want to say something about that, but
okay.
We'll
so it's not even notifications that's distracting me. It's myself distracting me and me wanting to escape out of my current situation with my job. I'm not engaged in the work that I do. Therefore, let me tap out of it right now and go to my phone where I can get a hit of something. Maybe I can, I remember I wanted to look up this thing, and then that leads me to this thing and this thing and this thing. And then it's like this sick cycle. So I'm like, I need to break that, because I just see that it's not actually helpful for me at all.
Yeah.
And I'd rather, I'm not in the career that I want right now, but it doesn't mean that I can't show up and give everything that I have right now to the job that I have. I'm thankful for it, and be checked into my life, even if I'm not necessarily where I want to be. I could still be checked in. And last thing, and then I'll let you talk. I had seen something, I think it was Hub's Life, that he posted a video, HUBSLIFE. I think it's Hub's Life. Yeah. But he had posted a video, I don't know, a couple months ago, but maybe it was someone else, actually. I don't remember. Anyways, it was just a reminder that the life you're living right now is the thing that you asked for a couple years ago. So while you're planning for something better, just remember, like, you are actually where you wanted, where you were planning for, something like that. I'm butchering it, but I think about that for myself too, of like, remember, you actually were manifesting this. You wanted to come up here, you wanted to live up here. It was going to change your life. It has changed your life. So remember how it's changing your life, be checked in with it, and then continue on,
Yeah, I like that. I laughed because you said you turn off all of your notifications, so you're not even getting distracted with that. So it's like, you're avoiding your responsibilities.
Yes.
And then you're avoiding contact with anyone.
Yes, absolutely.
So that way you can stay in this other world.
Yeah.
Where you have no responsibilities and you are not tied to anyone.
Yes, exactly. There's probably a handful of people that I will actually immediately message back that are not the ones that like I want to be 100% present. I mean, I'm 100% present for everyone else, but like maybe it's the kind that, so how are you? And like, what's new? Like, let me catch you up. It's those ones that I'm like, I want to make sure I'm like fully engaged in whatever they might need. I
will say there are times where I am not even in that category.
What do you mean?
Because you get so sucked into whatever you're looking at on your phone. My notification for like my text to you, I saw this the other day. It pops up on the top of the phone, but she's not looking at it.
Oh.
We were sitting next to each other. I think I was on the phone and I needed to ask.
My fupa is showing.
No, Fabi's covering it.
Fabi's covering the fupa.
I needed to ask her something so I can say it on the call. And you were just scrolling away on your phone.
Did it actually drop?
I watched it drop down and I watched her just staring at her phone.
I believe it.
And so I had to like nudge her.
I believe it.
Tell her, check your text. And then she's like, oh, what? And then she looks and she goes, oh yeah, no, you're fine.
I'm trying to remember what when you're talking.
When I was talking to Crystal, or was it my mom?
I think it was your mom.
I think it was my mom.
Yeah. Yes. I think I remember what it was. And it is so strange for me because there will be times where you're like, did you mean to leave this out? And it's like, what? Or why? Like when I'm in the kitchen, I was in the kitchen because all the pantries drawers are left open.
The cabinets are open. Milk is left on. The perfect example. Okay. The other of her hyperfixation. The other day we went to the market, got milk, eggs, fruits, all of these things. She had picked out some strawberries. So she was like, I really want these strawberries with this and this when we get home. And I was like, okay, yeah, that sounds great. She was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna mix it with like my Cocoa June yogurt and like the coconut
Don't give away my
whipped
secret
cream.
recipes.
I'll have her do like a little video so you guys could see. But she was so fixated on it, and I was like, I have to pee really bad. And so when we got in the house, I went to the restroom. I come back out. Everything is taken out of the bags onto the counter, but she's over there washing her strawberries, cutting off the stems, preparing everything. And I looked at her and I was like, hey, what are you doing? And she's like, oh, just, taking care of the strawberries. And I was like, you know that there's like milk on the counter, right? And she's like, I didn't even think about that. She was so focused on her dang strawberries.
I was taking good care of them.
You were, hand bathing and everything.
I really do not ignore messages. It's like I don't see it.
Yeah, it's blindness.
Yes.
That is the main thing with you.
I know. I'm really bad. But
she's not purposefully ignoring you. She
I'm
just
never
doesn't see you.
Yeah, which I don't know, which is worse. But this is what I want to implement this week. No phone at the desk. No. Well, I will keep the phone on the desk because now there's nothing going to be for me. Because I also have a thing which is not the best thing. I wouldn't recommend this to anyone. But I have this constant fear that someone in my family is going to die.
Oh yeah.
And since that happened twice last year, it seems that I always want to be available with my phone. So I'm just constantly, if the thing is, I never answer my phone either. So when someone does need me, I never hear the phone because the phone's on silent. I never hear the vibration. So really, I'm not your emergency contact because chances are I might not hear or answer the phone. Or maybe I'm on Instagram when you're texting me that you need help. So anyways, I'm taking those apps off and it's okay, baby. I'm taking those apps off and gonna be 100% dialed in to work and to life. This week it's my test. I'll see how that goes and I'll update y'all next week.
Can I add an amendment to that?
What?
Go through your texts to take out and delete all of the ones that are just, here's your receipt from blah blah blah.
Fine.
And promotional offers and things like that, because I think when you open up your home screen doesn't have the notifications listed, but when you open up your phone and you see that high number in your text messages, I would avoid it.
Yeah, you're right.
So just maybe set yourself up in that way.
You're right. I will do that. So that has been all weekend when we've kind of been doing our own thing. I've been doing a lot of researchy things. And I'm trying to declutter my life. But my brain is all over the place because I want to declutter all the photos I have on my phone. I want to get organized with my computer. I want to do with my actual work desk, which I avoid at all costs because it is my work desk. But how can I make it so where I want to sit there and do these courses for personal gain? So I think that it is about organizing my life in a way that's better. So I actually have to for sure I can't escape. I have to actually go head on into organizing my life and setting myself up.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be perfect, but at least get me to a place where my desk isn't cluttered, to where it's like, hey, this is like an inviting space for you to come do your courses. Because after 8 hours of sitting at my desk for a job that I'm not loving, to go back to that area, it represents sadness for me.
Yeah, it's creating spaces that are that you actually want to be in for different activities. But you made a good point. You want your writing desk to be your writing desk. You don't want to sit there to do computer work. Okay, great. So now you need to go utilize your other setup. And create a space that allows you to not dread going there.
No,
because you're not, it's not a task that you're dreading going into.
Yes.
Your classes are things that you want to take.
Yeah. No. So that's what I'm going to try this week. I'm also going to try no phone in the bedroom, and try to go. I usually fall asleep to ASMR videos. But that's kind of not true because it will put me to sleep, but then the video playing will wake me up. so it kind of is not a very restful way for me to fall asleep.
Yeah.
Or if I actually do knock out, I'll wake up with the AirPods still in my ear, the phone somewhere off to the side, if I didn't remember to put it on my side table. And I just don't need that technology locked into me for all the time that I'm sleeping, plus all the time that I'm awake during the day.
True.
So I thought, just get it out. I have 2 books that I'm also either I read this genre or this genre, but I'm finishing these books because I had a pile of books on my side table. So I am organizing myself right now and setting myself up to where I cannot escape that. There's these designated spots of what I need to do. I'm not putting too much of a to-do list. I wrote out a to-do list for this week. I think there's like 5 things on there versus
good.
usually 20.
It is usually like everything.
Yeah, and it's doable things. So yeah, because I do see that it's not actually, I don't feel healthy, guys. I feel mentally unwell. I'm also physically not feeling the best because of, anemia, but I just don't feel well. I just feel off. I feel like I'm always constantly struggling with depression, with anxiety, restlessness, and I think I've tried my way enough to see that it's actually not helping me. I'm not going to say this is contributing to everything that I feel, but I think that, hey, maybe these avoidance patterns aren't really solving your problems. So let's try something else. So that's what I plan to do. What about you, babe?
I didn't think that far ahead.
Oh,
so I don't have like a plan, an action plan like that. But I do see and I do acknowledge the ways that it is no longer like a healthy balance for me.
Yeah.
So when I do have a plan, I will share and execute.
That's on par for how we are too, anyways.
Yeah, because again, Brittany is the thinker, and I am the head in the clouds. So it's, you present me with something, you say, what do you think about this? And then I'm like, oh, well, it's just this one thing you're asking me. But then you're like, but I have all of this behind it.
Well, what's funny is Bridge was like, what if we talk about, a couple of days ago, what if we talk about, she said something. Actually, she said just another using escapism as a form
Coping mechanism.
Yeah. And I was like, actually, that would be a really great topic. I think that we are both telling each other how like, oh, we're gonna get better tomorrow. Okay, we'll wake up early tomorrow. So I feel like we're both kind of struggling in the same way and feeling down about things. And so when because Bridge mentioned it and then was like, actually, that'd be great. And she's like, you know what, that would be a really good topic. For me, I took that as an assignment. So I had to then actually map out everything and like, okay, what is it? How do I then make a shift? So it's not also just let's talk about this topic, but let me be transparent with how that looks in my life and then what I plan to do about that, in hopes of maybe it also inspiring someone else that, okay, this is what I'm going to try. I can't say if it's going to work, but maybe you want to try it too, or you're at the same place and maybe you don't even realize that what you're doing is a form of, coping mechanism. And like, so I feel like when we both agreed on it, it was like, okay, I have an assignment from Bridge that I need to do. So I need to do this full on plan.
Your brain does that and mine goes, wow, that's crazy. Like, maybe that could be my like assignment, is like to stop stopping at wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But see, like dig deeper.
Well, this is why I think I'm always advocating for, like, I'm encouraging, advocating, and yelling at Bridge to shut off for a bit. That is the constant thing that we talk about in our marriage of an issue that comes up with us, because I tell her that essentially I feel like I'm constantly on a treadmill and I would like to get off or to swap. And I think that if anyone is also feeling the same way, if there's like this imbalance within your relationship, and this is one area that there is an imbalance of if you are consuming something other than your own, whatever it is in your own life every day, there it should be no surprise to you that you're missing out on things that actually you need to partake in, that need to get done.
I'm not suffocating her, I promise. She's okay.
But I do think I'm looking at that little mouth. You have to, if you're gonna have time, like chunks of time where you are engaged in other people's lives, then also make sure you are planning out chunks of time where you can be engaged in your own life.
Yeah.
That way things can get done. Your life can continue to move forward and you feel like there's some growth happening, and for it not to be stagnant, because of course there's not going to be any development if you're only watching other people developing.
True.
You know?
Yeah.
So I think that being better about that. And I think that that's where it's like you are one end of that, and I'm like living many people's lives and trying to pull from them and implement everything. And I can imagine that that's also very overwhelming for you of, okay, I have all this information now. What do you think about this? Or I saw this. And I think that we can come together better, meet somewhere in the middle where you remind me to like, hey, let's rest a bit,
Yeah.
you know? And for me, I hope it's like, hey, let's be checked in a little bit more.
For me to you, it's, I feel like it maybe is, let's be right here, right now.
Mm-hmm.
And for you to me, it's let's plan.
Yeah.
For then and there.
Yeah. I like that.
I like that too. Okay. We could do that. Totally.
I'm going to try this
Me
week.
too.
I'm going to try. I'm going to start with myself. Because, clearly what I'm doing is not working.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to start with how I can be organized and rested with myself. And I hope that it also creates more of a balance here at home for you. And
yeah.
I don't think I'm chaotic, but I think that there's always a lot of information that I have, and it's like one day to the next, like, oh, okay, so this is now new information for me to process. And okay, so you want to, go to law school? Okay. Like, and you want to, I don't, but it is, I feel like it's like, okay, what about this idea? What about this? And like,
Yeah.
you're always like,
I'm just trying to keep up half the time.
Yeah.
So if there's a good chaotic and a bad chaotic, I don't think you're the bad chaotic, but I do think you are a bit like a tornado.
Yeah.
Because it is, when you're you're gross. When you're fixated on something, it's like all encompassing,
Yeah.
but then it could change the next day.
Yeah. She was telling the dog that.
Oh yeah. Maple's gross. She was licking my table. Actually, your table.
Yeah, disinfect that.
But yes, that was great. I love hearing how we are different, but the same.
Yes.
Always. I have some recs. Do you have any recs?
No, you go first.
Wait, did you have anything else to say on the topic?
No, I just hope that we all pick one thing this week.
Don't like, I'm going to fix my life and change.
Don't do that.
Absolutely.
I've tried doing that, just so you know. I already did all the research for you to try to fix your life overnight. I tried to do it over a weekend. It didn't happen. So I would pick one thing.
Yes.
That is probably a big thing in your life. That's like, I think I can identify that this area is a form of escapism for me. Let me try to go a week without doing that, or whatever it is. But I think that it's something that is affecting more than not.
Yeah. It has more of a negative impact than a positive.
Yeah. And I just want us all to be well. Because if you think that vitamins or all these other things that people want to sell you on is going to fix the thing, like, I think sometimes, and this is because I think I'm also cynical to a lot of stuff, but I feel like we're shoved, like a lot of things are shoved down our throats that is actually creating the problem.
Yeah.
But those same people that shoved it down our throats are also coming up with something to remedy that and saying,
Yeah.
see, look, if you just, subscribe to this monthly vitamin, you'll start feeling better. And if you subscribe to this, and if you pay for this, but you're the same people that actually also
created the problem.
Created a lot of the problem. Not that they're only to blame, but I think that it starts with us and it can also end with us. So we have more control than we may think. Maybe wants to say something. Huh?
She says, this is bullshit. I think also what I need to do is I need a visual representation. When we had that big calendar,
yes,
that was really nice.
Yeah.
So I think I want to get something that size, but just plain paper, where I can put into columns the areas of my life that I need to focus on.
Yeah.
And what I list out what I think I need to do.
Okay. Yeah.
So that way I can actually do it, because I have like all these little lists everywhere, lists on my phone. I don't even know the count of notes on my phone app.
I don't even want to know.
And I don't want to know. I want to just delete them all and start over.
I know. I feel like that with my pictures, but I'm like, oh, I'd be sad.
You would be sad. That's something that I couldn't even.
All my screenshots of the back of food and stuff, the ingredients or marketing stuff.
But okay, so that's their goals for this week. We can check in next week, see how it's going. Yeah, I am going to put this little lamb down, or no,
she's our little lamb.
I have like maybe 3 recs.
Okay,
don't. 2 are music.
Yeah,
and 1 is a show.
Okay,
stop.
Where is she wanting to go?
She's trying to fix herself, I think. So music wise, okay, you're going down. Okay, so music wise, I again have not been listening to a ton of music lately, but there's 2 like radios that I listen to on Spotify. One is Fellowband, which is a band that you introduced me to. It's very vibey. I love it. And then the other one is Nina Cobham. Oh
yes,
She is probably one of my favorites that are out right now, because I don't think anyone could see, but it's hilarious what she's doing. Maple is like digging into her bed. But Nina Cobham is a young woman who is English but grew up in Spain for a while, so her music is both English and Spanish.
But
she is
you did play you played some of her stuff. Yes
I really, I'm into her music now. And then my show is one that we just started, and we are in season 2. They're short episodes. It's called Somebody Somewhere, and it's on HBO Max. If you guys have it, I highly suggest looking into it or watching the show. I think I want to do like an episode on it, so I don't want to say too much, but it is it touches on a lot of topics that I think are relevant to our lives right now. Major one is grief, and I don't know, it's wholesome, makes me cry probably every episode, but also really funny and very much our humor. And it's just, I want to binge the series.
I would say
it's only 3 seasons.
I would say it's a bit the pacing and even maybe the style of filming reminds me a lot of Schitt's Creek.
Yes.
So if you're a fan of that, you might like it. But and there's a lot, even there's a balance with the comedy and then grief, which are my favorite. My favorite dramedies are
comedy.
Yes, I love them. But the premise is pretty much a woman goes back home after her sister's passing. She goes back home to help her sister who is passing. We don't really know how she's passed, but we're introduced to the main character after her sister has passed. So we're kind of seeing her as she deals with grief, and then also just avoidance with her own life, probably escapism, and meets a friend who helps her, kind of pulls her out of that, and introduces her to a community of people that are continuing to pull her out of that grief, or at least sit with her in it. So it's I'd say that it is a light show. So if you think like, oh no, like grief, I don't want to, it's actually, I feel like a very light,
it's a lighthearted approach to grief.
Yeah. And it's I loved it. The first episode, I loved it. I was locked in. So I think that for sure, if you're looking for something that for us, maybe more so for me, I've kind of been in a weird funk with movies, with film in general, that I just don't really see a lot of good stuff out there anymore. And so especially when there's like heavy marketing behind
It
people.
has felt very formulaic.
Yeah.
And very the exact same story.
Yes.
Different actors.
Yeah. Or it's like a big name
Yep.
that's going to be in this movie. So that's why everyone wants to see this movie. And even though, you know, I do want to see Thunderbolts, because my wife wants to see it. Usually superhero movies, I already know the formula to it. So I need more of a push to go see it. But Florence, that's all the push I need. But I did like Black Widow. So I'm like, okay, then maybe I'll like this one. But I am struggling to find film that I want to actually give my time to, because the way I'm looking at it too is whatever I watch, I want to have it's content for us to sit here and share with you guys. And I don't want to share stuff that I think is not a waste of time, but like, you know, there's enough trash TV that I hope to give you something that is more meaningful in your life. And there's tons of that kind of writing out there. I think it's just they usually don't have backing to promote it as well. So we're trying to find that kind of content. So if anyone ever has recommendations too of like, hey, this is a small show, didn't really get a lot of talk, but maybe you want to check it out, let us know, because we love those kinds of shows. We want to support them and talk about them. But that's kind of where we're at. Babe, what's next?
That's it. That was my recs.
I think that's it for me too. I really don't have any rec.
Wow.
It's been I'm struggling, guys. I'm struggling. I'm pushing through. And the last episode that we released, we weren't happy with. It was kind of along the same lines of just we weren't really happy after with the topic, and it kind of went a little bit more into celebrity gossip than we wanted to. We definitely had a topic in mind of what we wanted to pull from it, but that's really not what we want our page, our business to be. The research was a
little rushed, so it didn't come together the way that we were wanting.
And we always we want to put out good and like manifest the goodness of this, of what we talk about and with our business. And when we think about other creatives that we would like to have on, we just want this place to be a safe space, and to talk about things that are more beneficial, I guess. So that's why we scrapped it. We weren't really happy with it, but we did record it. We are, wanted to be consistent, like we said. So I don't know what we're gonna talk about next week, but
we'll see.
We'll see. But thank you guys for tuning in, for being patient with us as we try to figure things out. I know we're MIA most of the time. We just have a lot going on. I think like all of you guys probably have a lot going on. But we are here. We are really trying. I hope you guys know that sincerely. It's not like, oh, we'll get to it when we get to it. Like, it really is our heart. It's just we're kind of in a funk right now.
Fighting through our own personal things, also wanting to be very intentional about what we're putting out there. So it makes it a little bit tricky, a little difficult, because also there's like some days where we just don't feel inspired. And that's not the kind of energy that we want to put out there. But thank you for holding on and for sticking with us throughout this whole thing. We love you guys.
Have a good week.
Bye.
Gotta do my teeth.
He's solid.
You have something black in your teeth.
I knew it.
No, blackberry probably. Let me see, smell. It's wet in like this or this one. Damn.
Okay.
Maple, you better not cry.
Yeah, Maple, if we had to stop this episode for you, I'm gonna kick you out forever of the recording booth.
Oh, okay. I don't think I can be an actress. I have to get in the frame of mind. Whenever they say that they have to get in their frame of mind. And like some of them do method acting, or like, okay, when I'm on set, I might be a little bit like this to get in the head. I feel like every day is a bad day for me. I can only give you what I can give you. But if I gotta give you 8 hours, 12 hours of running lines, and it's the same lines over and over again, nah.
That's deep.
Yes.
Okay, are you ready?